Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be planning from the 21st to the 27th of July in my Arch and Olive notebook. And this week I'm using a slightly older kit from Planner Paste that I've kind of had hoarded for a while. It's called Moonlight Gamer and it's just a very cutesy gamer themed kit. So there's lots of pinks and purples and blues and it's just super cute. I do PR for Planner Face, so you can use my code in the description to save yourselves a little bit of money and also mention me for a freebie. As always, I have all of my stickers pulled out in my Planner Face reusable sticker album and my planning notes in front of me, so we can get started with the base of this spread. Okay, so let's start with my usual sidebar. I've gone for the sidebar right down to the bottom because I don't have any toolboxes for this kit. I'll go pink for my most important thing of the week. I kind of never know what I'm really doing with this box. It's like, is it my focus for the week? Because it used to be when I was like pre-planning. Is it just the most important thing that week? Okay, I want to use this girl in the sidebar. A couple of these have purpley hair. I think I'm going to go for this one. Yeah, like, is it the most important thing that happened this week? Because I don't really mark in the most important thing usually. Ooh. It's just a box for me to write in something that overarches the week. There we go. And then I have my habit tracker. For my habit tracker, I just, on the memory planning sheets, I just tick off every time I actually remember to do my planner for that day. Let's go for the PC. And then a glitter header. And then I'll probably use one of the flat lays down the bottom, but we'll come back to that. So for my date covers, I've partially predated these. I ordered some new date dots with the Christmas in July sale that happened like this week, and they haven't arrived yet. So I don't have the 21st or the 22nd, but I have all the other dates. So I've like semi-dated my date covers. Also, when I shopped in the Christmas in July sale, I got like really over enthusiastic about buying all of the like new bits and pieces. And then I was like, oh, I forgot that I actually need date dots. So I had to do a second little order just for date dots. Just, you know, just to make it a little bit more complicated. I mean, I could write them in, but I do like having them like as stickers. So we've got pink, then we'll go with blue. And then the light pink. And then purple. And then we're back to pink. Oh, I've used the glitter header there. I probably want to use it in that box instead. I'll see what happens with the full boxes. I forgot because this is a older format. It doesn't have the like full block of glitter headers that the newer kits have. Not that I ever use all of the headers in the new kit format. But it is nice to have that one extra. Cool. So let's do the washi before I do anything else. Yeah, so this week was, sorry if you can hear the traffic outside. It's like they've just decided to drive some trucks past while I'm trying to film. Yeah, this week was fairly like normal. I was just working my usual like 5 days and not really doing much. Oh, this week was the week that Ozzy passed away. So that was kind of sad. It felt kind of weird because, you know, you like make light of the fact that someone can do so many drugs and then live until they're like 76 odd. And then they actually pass away and you're like, oh shit. Forgot that that would actually happen at some point. Okay, so for full boxes, I've got some more Fashion Girls. I want to use this double box on the weekend. I'll go with at the bottom. Just because I haven't done a double box at the bottom for a bit. Yes, this is just a fairly standard like work week, aside from work being absolute chaos at the moment, but there's nothing that I can do about that apart from just try and deal with it. Okay, and then I think we'll go with this girl up here in our kind of extra box, and then I am going to move that glitter header. If I put this glitter header over here, I was thinking like I don't want the keyboard to be right next to like the computer. It's too much hardware in one space. Yeah, training was training. Reggie didn't have any vet appointments or any big vet appointments this week. He did have a follow-up. And then we just had like a chill afternoon, a chill weekend even. Sorry, text just popped up on my computer and I was like half reading it while I was trying to talk. That's silly. Yeah, we just had a chill weekend. No big plans. I think having 2 barbecues in one weekend last week was enough plans for me for a while. So we can then add in our weekend banner down the bottom here. So the older style weekend banner from Plannerface. For my sidebar, I also have a July monthly script, again from Plannerface, and just some deco from the kit for my little box there. So that is the base of the spread. Now I can get into my plans for the week. Okay, so starting off on Monday, it was 2 friends' birthdays this day, so I'm going to use a little thing to mark that in. This is a bit of a birthday heavy week. And then I was working on site, so I'm going to use a 3rd box to mark that in. After work this day, I did my training. I left work like a smidge early so that I had time to get that training done before I had to go for a checkup for Reggie, sorry. So we'll use I think you can have a bit of a bigger sticker than that. Yeah, a checkup for Reg. This is just his like three-day post-dental checkup because obviously he'd been under anaesthetic. I say 3-day. It was like 5 days later because they didn't have space to actually have a 3-day checkup for him, which is fine, but like it's not 3 days. And then I just had a bit of a YouTube binge in the evening, and I don't know what I'm going to use to mark that because I don't have the swatches. Could go for another 3rd box. That's kind of also not the right size. It's a good thing that I have so much pink in my stash. There we go, so that is a swatch from my stash, but I think it's just the usual swatch that you get in the current format of the Plannerface mini kits. Just reordered this a smidge. Cool, so for birthdays I have the balloon doodle from the kit. For work this week I'm using these paper shire icons. For training I have dumbbell version 2 from Plannerface. And then for Reggie's checkup, I have the paw print doodle from the kit. And then for just a YouTube binge in the evening, I have some deco from the kit. Okay, moving on to Tuesday. I was working from home this day, as I usually do. And then I did my training. After work. After that I did my memory planning, so, actually, instead of using that, I'm going to use a half box, and we'll put both things in one box. So because I've been feeling a little bit rubbish the weekend before, I hadn't done my memory planning, so I got that done this day. And I also managed to do the editing for it this day as well, which was good because it got uploaded on Wednesday. And then this evening, unfortunately, was when we had the news that Ozzy Osbourne had passed away. So I'm going to mark that in. I'm sure he'd appreciate being on a pink Skinny Fancy label. So just make all these a little bit wider apart. Cool. So for work this day, I have a laptop doodle, again from that Papershire set. And then for training, I have Dumbbells version 2. For my memory planning, I have the book doodle from the kit. And then for editing, I have the laptop doodle. And then for Ozzy, I have a bat from, I think, a Halloween sampler. I felt like that was pretty fitting. Okay, moving on to Wednesday. I started off the day with a bit of panic because I started driving to work and I got like a little way into it and my petrol light came on because my partner had not filled or had not left the car with enough petrol for me to get to work, which was really nice. Loved that. So I then worked on site this day, and because I don't have a lot to mark, I'm marking in that I uploaded my video. Well, my video went live. Let's do that, and then I just played some Baldur's Gate with Becca in the evening. So use a purple half box for that. Instead of that being a little thing, let go with this. I tried not to use up these Skinny Fancy labels too quickly now because I've like had so many spreads where I've used them all up in like the first 2 days, and they're like a really handy size. But now it turns out that I'm not using enough of them. Okay. So for my little petrol panic in the morning, I have the car doodle from the kit, or that might actually be from a sampler or a leftover, I don't know. And then I have another Papershire icon for working on site. I have the little coffee cup doodle from the kit for uploading my video, and then just a bit of deco from the kit for playing some Baldur's Gate in the evening. Moving on to Thursday, I was again working from home this day. So when I say this was a fairly standard week, it was a very standard week. I then trained after work. And then at the end of the day, I want to put in having a bit of a YouTube binge. So there's a couple people that I've been watching quite a lot recently. So that was Ron Mango and Dark History. And then, oh, I don't think I've ever used 2 of these in one day before, but I kind of like how it looks. Yeah, played some Baldur's Gate with Becca. So for work this day, again, I'm using a Papershire icon. And then for training, I have Dumbbell version 2. For gaming, when I pulled out these stickers, it was when I didn't have, like, I'd run out of gaming stickers, so I'm using a bit of deco from the kit. I mean, it's kind of fine because this whole spread is gamer themed, but then I just have a TV doodle from the kit. So TV doodle from the kit to mark in Dark History and Rotten Mango. Okay, moving on to Friday. Friday I was in the office, and this was also Christmas in July. So we'll mark Christmas in July sales. I did a decent amount of shopping this day. We walked over to that new shop that's by our house with Reggie. And then I was just playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca. Surprise, surprise. And we were having a couple drinks at home. Okay, just try and squeeze these in a little bit more. Okay, on this day, work went berserk. So I have vanilla with everything on fire. It hasn't stopped feeling like that this week. I also have a Christmas tree for Christmas in July sales, and then a leash doodle for walking Reggie to the shop. I have Moonlight Gaming for playing some Baldur's Gate, and then I just have a bit of can deco from the kit for our drinks at home. Okay, on Saturday, this was my friend's birthday, so I'll mark that in with a little thing. Maybe I will mark it in less wonky with a little thing. I then did my memory planning in the morning. And then I went to team training. So as usual, mark that in with a quarter box. This day my partner went out with some friends, so I had the house to myself, which doesn't happen very often, so I wanted to mark that in. I'm gonna cut these up as usual to make some extra little things. Okay, so pop that in to mark that my partner was out. So I did some editing to begin with. I think I edited that video that I filmed in the morning. And then I was playing some Sims. So I've been trying to redo the Decades challenge again. I keep going to like the 1910s and being like, I'm fed up of this. And then in the evening, I just watched some more YouTube. So this day I was watching Cruel World, Happy Mind. I'm trying to like write in what I was watching on YouTube rather than just like YouTube binge all the time, because sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm watching loads of planner videos, and I think I started at the beginning of the year with like saying what I was watching instead of just like, I watched some YouTube. Yeah, I'm trying to actually say what I was watching. So I've got the balloon doodle from the kit for my friend's birthday, and then the planner doodle for memory keeping. I have vanilla weightlifting for team training. For my partner being out, I just have a bit of deco. And then for editing, I have the coffee cup doodle from the kit. For playing some Sims, I have Squidge. And then for watching some Cruel World, Happy Mind, I have like a podcast mic deco from the kit and just another bit of deco. Cute. Okay, so moving on to Sunday. There's another birthday this day. So this was my friend's little girl's birthday. It's also my nan's birthday. She passed away last year. So it's a bit of a weird day for me. I started off by doing my Sunday reset. And then this day I also filmed my August monthly. So I was having a very plannery weekend. But we're not mad about that at all. I then had to go pick up the groceries. Because my partner had been out with the car, I'd had to change my like click and collect slot to Sunday. I used to always get it on a Sunday though. No, it just feels nice to have everything done and like Sunday free to do what I want. I also filled out my lifting journal this day. So I was about to start a new block, which is building on the last 4-week block that I did. Played some Sims. And then we walked Reggie down to the pub. We all know that Reggie loves the pub. Also, when we got there, like every alarm in the building was going off and we were like, oh my God, it's the pub on fire. And it turns out that someone had just like slightly burnt something in the kitchen and all of the alarms had gone off and they were waiting for someone to come turn them off. So not exactly the chill pub experience we were after, but this is going to be wild and against what I normally do, but I'm going to take this third box, this core box, because I've got like barely anything to mark on this Tuesday. I'll mark work in a little bit bigger. And that way I should hopefully be able to fit this box if I squidge everything up a little bit in for the end of the day. Nice. Okay, so I have another balloon doodle from my stash for my friend's birthday. I have the vacuum doodle from the kit for my Sunday reset. I have Bunilla with a bunch of washi tape for my journal setup, and then the grocery doodle from the kit to mark in getting the groceries. I then have quite a big bit of deco for doing my lifting journal, and then a big squidge for playing Sims, another leash doodle for walking Reggie to the pub, and then another bit of deco for playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca in the evening. Okay, so that is all of my stickers down for the week. Oh no, it isn't. I nearly forgot my custom scripts. So we have team training. Ooh. Team training. And then snatch. Clean. Jerk. Okay, now that is all of my stickers down for the week. I'm going to go fill this in and I'll be right back with the final spread. So here's the spread all filled out, and I think this one has turned out super cute. I've had this kit in my stash for a while, and it's always kind of like been in my lineup and then got swapped out at the last minute for something else that like was more suitable to the week, but I'm really glad that I decided to use it for this week. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me a purple heart emoji in the comments. But that is everything for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!